So 8 Passengers, the YouTube family channel, is falling apart. And it's crazy to think that just 2 years ago, they were sending me a cease and desist, and now they can't even keep their family together because the oldest daughter, Sherry, has turned on them. If you guys have not heard of 8 Passengers, they are a YouTube channel with over 2 million subscribers. They haven't posted in the last 8 months, but they used to post a ton about their family because there are 6 children and they've all been exploited by the mother, Ruby. I mean, the father isn't great either, but Ruby is a total mess, and she's been canceled for a variety of reasons. I mean, one reason why she sent me a cease and desist was because I showed a clip of her denying to bring her daughter food, her youngest daughter food, when she forgot her lunch at home, which Ruby doesn't do anything. She's laying around watching, paint dry on the wall.
I just got a text message from Eve's teacher, and she said that Eve did not pack a lunch today, and can I bring a lunch over to the school? This happens quite often when you're raising children, because I know that her teacher is uncomfortable with her being hungry and not having a lunch, and it would ease her discomfort if I came to the school with a lunch. But I responded and just said Eve is responsible for making her lunches in the morning, and she actually told me she did pack a lunch. So the natural outcome is she's just going to need to be hungry, and hopefully nobody gives her food.
She's also sent her children to troubled teen camps, which is an entire industry built on exploiting children and putting them through hell.
Chad today has just entered the Manassas Foundation Wilderness Therapy Program, where he's going to spend the next 8 to 10 weeks living in the
Manassas Desert.
Yeah, the desert mountains of Arizona. And he'll be with counselors and other youth that are trying to figure some things out. So you're probably wondering, what did Chad do? Okay, we're not even going to entertain that stuff, but it's an accumulation of things over years, well before we ever started YouTubing, or well before we ever got into social media. And it's reached a point where Chad needs to develop some very basic maturity and skills that he's going to need as an adult.
If you want to know exactly why they tried to sue me, definitely go and check out that previous video. But they've stopped posting on their 8 Passengers channel, thank God, because those children did not deserve any more torture. They've moved on to a new YouTube channel. So Connections is an organization spelt with an X, and they offer a classroom experience for parents. Jody and Ruby are 2 people who are the face of this organization, and they give people advice and parents tips on how to be the best parents. But their tips and teachings seem far from what's best and actually really outdated, and using Christianity and religion to weaponize parenting.
Your daughter has been sneaking around the house, sending her siblings in to find the journal. She's been manipulating you. She has been deceptive. She's been throwing this big tantrum. And so now you're going, ooh, you're letting her distortion trigger your distortion. And you can't do that, Mom, and be in truth. You're the mother and she is the child. This is not a relationship where you trust her. That's not your job as a mother. In fact, your job as a mother is to constantly be scrutinizing her, to constantly be judging her choices against principles. That's your job. If you begin to trust your daughter, you're going to go blind to all of the distortions in her life. And now she's not safe.
They also have a YouTube channel with just a couple thousand subscribers and honestly barely any views, but they post a ton on this channel, and it's really what Ruby's been up to these days. I'm not entirely sure what they're doing for income because they're not posting on their main channel, but it seems like Connections is all she's passionate about. So now it seems like the oldest daughter, named Sherry, has now turned on her family and disagrees with what her mother has been doing and saying. And this woman, Teresa, wrote wrote a post on Facebook sharing their review of this course, which Sherry, Ruby's oldest daughter, ultimately supported. She writes, "I have grave concerns about the organization called Connections." She shared that she took the first course with her husband and they had a bad experience. There were some serious red flags we witnessed. I recognize there is a need for helpful counseling to help heal relationships, but destructive division is actually dangerous and what Connections is pushing out there. And you could see this by watching their videos because they push this approach that you are against your children, like kind of like they're criminals already and you're trying to figure out their next move and be on the defense, calling children manipulative and ultimately trying to control their life in every corner, which is exactly what Ruby has done to her children publicly on their YouTube channel.
I've been sleeping on a beanbag since October, and they gave my room back like 2 weeks ago.
Abby, we took the phone away from Abby in November.
Oh,
And
I just don't know why.
you may never get the phone back.
Probably.
No, I have no friends.
You can play with friends.
No, like I don't have friends.
I don't have friends either.
I literally like told my friends I'm not hanging out with them anymore
Because
because
they're
they say some pretty messed up stuff.
I don't even know where they live. They're pretty far away.
So-
Yeah, sharing with everyone the fact that you don't have a group of friends, that's really hard. I'm sorry.
The biggest problem I see is that Jody and Ruby do not use the principles. They often harshly and forcefully shame and batter people down in a brash and cruel manner when they ask questions or have concerns, but they're really kind to people who agree with them. They write that Jody seems like she started her career off with good intentions, but what she's doing and what she's recommending is borderline abusive. And they also mentioned that her license was revoked at one time for violating client confidentiality, which is a huge red flag. Ruby, who is known by many for her role as a YouTube influencer and a person trying to help families succeed at home, is a gifted and intelligent woman, but something has changed. She's being very kind to Ruby there because keep in mind, this is the same woman who makes videos taking her children to go bra shopping or post a video about her child's first period and exploits them in ways that showing them shaving. It's just really gross. So Teresa writes that Jody and Ruby seem to think of themselves as synonymous with the truth, which gives them some type of God complex and a cult-like mentality. She says they are frequently making quick judgments about a situation and saying things like, "Your children have no right to privacy," or "I recommend you kick your daughter out of your home for her rudeness or take her off your health insurance." What? That's so bizarre. And it makes me think like, oh, her son, Chad, her oldest son, lost his right to privacy because she removed his bedroom and bathroom doors, which is really awkward for like a growing boy. He was like 15 years old, 16 years old at this point.
Privacy has been used today greatly to hide and to sneak and to be deceptive. They're just trying to hold that word over your head. They're trying to hold you hostage, saying, you need to give me privacy. You need to honor my boundaries. You need to honor my feelings. You don't care about me. What else? You're invading my space. Those are my personal feelings. No. In this home, you don't get personal space because this is my space because I'm the parent. If you want your own personal space, you'll need to get your own space. This is mine. And as long as you're living in my home, it is my job to know everything about you. You don't get to sneak, you don't get to hide, you don't get to have secrets. Not in my house. Do you see how loving that is?
The tone and the way that these mothers treat people and give advice is nearly against every principle taught in psychology. She also shares that Ruby and Jody are pushing these principles with religion. So pretty much weaponizing religion against the children, which is exactly one way to push your children away from faith.
This is about you, not about your daughter. Your daughter does have issues, and I'll get to those as I read the question. And you being confused about your daughter versus God is about you not living with principles. If you are a woman who understands that the Lord comes first regardless of everything else, he comes first. Not your daughter's happiness, not what your daughter wants, not your daughter's activities, not what your daughter thinks she should have. God always comes first to you as the mother.
She claims that she wrote this post to warn people from connections because these people have become master manipulators who are expert at pulling vulnerable individuals in, making them doubt themselves, their spouses, children, siblings, until one day they realize their own family relationships have disintegrated. So literally ruining your entire family, which makes sense for Ruby because she doesn't even get along with her sister who does YouTube as well. Like, there's so much more to this family. It's not just the 8 passengers, it's also the Ruby's sisters who, like Bonnie and those people who she continues to fight with. So we have seen Ruby fight with her sister online, and honestly, I don't believe they're on good terms right now, but what's interesting is that now her own daughter has supported this person's review, which is really calling out Ruby's character. Sherry writes, "Thank you for your courage and wise counsel." You can see that, I don't know if you can see, actually, maybe I'm blocking it out, but it has 30 likes on it. This was the first moment that people realized that, wait, hold on, there's a rift here. And then people started asking Sherry about it. I believe she's in college right now doing her own thing, and she's probably figuring out like how the world works and realizes that, you know, her mother, this YouTuber, influencer, God complex woman who's the truth, isn't really the truth at all and probably gave her a lot of trauma. Sherry writes, "I know that there are many rumors circulating online about my family. While it is true I am not in contact with my immediate family," which means she's probably talking to Bonnie, the sister, and other ones, "and I don't support the extreme beliefs of connections, please remember that this is my real family." So despite good intentions, speculating rumors and gossip does not help us. So she's asking for privacy, but the fact that she's no longer in contact with this family, I mean, like, why? They were oh so perfect for so long and sold this like image of a perfect family, even though we all saw through it and we saw the cracks and we saw moments where Ruby was saying things that were questionable.
To tell you this, honey, but unless you find a friend who's willing to share some of their food with you, I don't think you're going to be able to eat. But if you're not responsible for your lunch and your lunch money, that's the natural consequence. And I'm really sorry you're learning this the hard way. I will have a wonderful, yummy snack. Just hang in there today and just make up your mind. You're going to be really careful and make sure you grab your stuff when you go to school next time.
At the end of the day, I wish this family well because they've gone through so much. And these children, I cannot imagine living in that home because as soon as Sherry got out, she turned against them because she saw how the world really worked. And Ruby's control was way too much. Exactly what Teresa described. I mean, I can't imagine a ton of people are taking this course. So like, this is big that this person spoke out, but I want to hear what you guys think in the comments below, and I'll see you in a new video soon. Bye, guys.